Welcome to another live lesson, BBR Productions channel with Thomas J. Beleza. And today we're going to really talk about something very important: communication, the value of communicating with others, how to communicate with them, and get the most out of those conversations. You may say to yourself, Thomas, how do I quickly earn somebody's trust, value, or prove my worth in a quick conversation? Well, today we're going to talk about TAC, the art of communication, or the art of conversation, and how we communicate with style and skill. I have 3 points I'm going to go over and then give you examples of some of the tools themselves. So let's get into it, shall we? And before we do so, as always, I'm Thomas J. Beleza, so please like, comment, and share this video along with subscribing for future content on how to be successful in your career, specifically the entertainment industry. Let's get right to it. In the art of conversation, okay, TAC, there is a +1 -1 system. As you are building relationships with people, as we meet new people, instantly there is a +1 -1 point system happening. Every single thing you do, say, or actually physically do, or do not say, or do not do, can add +1 or -1 to your relationship. If you think of a relationship growth as a point system, you'll know that you are ultimately trying to develop a high count to that relationship. The more points you have in that relationship, invested into that relationship, the more you could ask of that person, and also the more they will give back to you. So if you add a point to a relationship, that relationship gets a point. If they add a point to that relationship gets a point. But this is the secret: other people are going to get more -1s towards you than you should be getting towards them, because we ignore the -1s. We want to be successful. You want to be successful. So you have to learn to ignore the malpractice of communication, the values that they pull from you. So if we rule out the -1s and we just focus on giving them +1s, you know that the relationship will grow quickly. All right? So part of the secret is to understand the three things that elevate the +1 -1 factor: how you earn points, okay, how you lose points, and how trading those points works. If you are first meeting somebody or you've known them for a while, how you earn points with people is give them your time. Now, time could be subtracted for some. Okay. Time can be subtracted for a different word. You could substitute it and say, hey, I get my resources, or hey, my attention, or hey, I give them my ear or my shoulder. It's basically when we give unto ourselves, uh, we give ourselves unto them, I mean. So you earn points every time you give yourself to them. So how do you lose points? Reverse it. Take time from them. Take their energy. Take their perspective. Take control of a conversation. Take lead. Anytime they are not the focus, or anytime they are not the value set, or the leader, you will lose a point. Now, trading those points is ultimately asking for something. So every time you ask for something, you trade in a point. And it only costs 1 point. Every time we ask of somebody, it's 1 point. So think of it like that. If you have some points with a relationship and you tell them, hey, you want to help me move this weekend? And they say yes, that just cost you -1 point, which is fine, because if you have thousands of points with that relationship of time, effort, what's a point? What's 100 points? What's 30 points? So think about the value of the time we put into people. And ultimately, if you want to make a stronger relationship with somebody through communication, give them your effort and energy. Give them your time. Give them your ear. Give them the floor by allowing yourself to give them the space to speak. Okay? Uh, Focus on not asking them for things, and don't take time away from them. Let them be the value. In the beginning, earn those points up, because then you have earned the right to trade points in for value. Okay? Number two. All right. In conversation, we as people do a thing called upping. Upping cost a -1 point. So again, when you're trying to build a relationship, everything we do or do not do and everything we say and do not say can gain us a point or lose us a point in a relationship growth. And if you think of it as a point system, you can see how to add value to a relationship and how a relationship might be losing value. Because if you're doing the things that take points away, you go, oh, well, let me stop doing these things and start doing these things to start adding points. Upping, and by the way, there are a lot of things in TAC that we could go over today, but we're only going to focus on two TACs. We're going to focus on what upping is, and we're going to focus on what with, not at conversation is. Okay. And all right. So upping. Upping is when you respond with zero empathy. Upping is when you take on the conversation, even though they are starting the conversation. And I'll give you some examples. In upping, somebody might say to you, I just got a dog. And then if your response is, I used to have a dog, that is upping. Basically, you took the energy and the direction of the conversation away from them. So you're taking time from them. You're taking their position away. So we want to give them your time or give them their position, right? So if they say, I just got a dog, a stronger TAC response that will cancel out upping and give you a +1 is, what wonderful news. What kind of dog? And what this does is it keeps the attention on their interest. Another example is like, if you're like, oh, I just got a raise at my job, or I just did a great thing at my job, and like, oh yeah, I did a really cool thing at my job too. Or, my band just got a song on the radio. Oh, dude, I wish I could get my band on the radio. Or more importantly, if somebody does talk about a success, uh, yeah, basically. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah, I don't stream on the weekends. I only stream Monday through Friday. I do not stream on the weekends. All right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it definitely was the weekend. All right. So, yeah, when it comes to upping, think of giving them the value and think of focusing on them. So, again, if somebody has like they win, celebrate their victory. Don't pull their victory away. Like, oh, I just met a girl and we're having a great relationship. It's like, oh, that's great. I wish I could have a girl like that. That's upping because you are taking the focus from them to you. All right. So ultimately, we want to understand what empathy is so we avoid upping. If we focus on empathy, we will learn that empathy by itself is the ability to understand and share feelings with another. If someone says, I just got a dog, you go, I used to have a dog, or I own a dog, or I love dogs. That's not empathy. And we're going to explain why it's not empathy because first of all, it doesn't fit that definition. And we're going to explain 3 versions of empathy. But if you're saying, I used to have a dog, you're relating to them. But it is not the ability to understand and share feelings with another. You're just relating. Oh, I also had a dog. I just want you to know. And by the way, we do it because we feel that we want the person to go, hey, I understand what you're going through because I also blank, blank, blank. All right. So there are 3 forms of empathy you can create instead of upping, right? So there's emotional empathy, which is emotional empathy is when you feel something because someone else does. So again, if someone's like, I just got a dog, and you're like, I have a dog, that's not necessarily feeling anything. You're not feeling what they're feeling. But if you have, oh, wow, yeah, that's great that they're feeling, and that's in your head, and you're acknowledging the feeling and understanding what they're going through, that would be emotional empathy. You don't have to verbalize that. If you verbalize it, you up. And also, it's no longer feeling, it's telling. Which leads us to another form, which is cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy involves putting yourself in their shoes. So ultimately, if someone says, I got a dog, and you're like, oh, I wonder what it would feel like to have that dog. And then being like, oh, it would be great to have that dog. And you start kind of picturing what it would feel like. But again, if you verbalize that, you are upping. So the idea is to let them just talk about it and let them explore. That's what kind of dog is it? Or that's wonderful. You must be excited. Let them explore that emotion, that feeling, that statement. And it would cancel out the upping and it will allow you to gain points every time you show interest. Every single question in, what wonderful news? What kind of dog? I just got a point in that conversation. It's a Rottweiler. Whoa, that's a beautiful dog. What made you get that dog? Did you name it? What's the name? Point. All right. So that's how you kind of look at it. All right. Compassionate empathy leads to action. All right. Ultimately, it leads to action. And here's three examples of each one. One example for each, right? So, emotional empathy is when you feel something because someone else does. So, basically, you know how it feels because you had a dog. So, once you understand how it feels, you are indeed feeling the empathy. But the moment you verbalize, this is how you understand if you're about to up. You have to verbalize what you feel so they understand what you feel. You're not actually no, you're no you may have felt empathy, but now you are upping. And the idea is wait, it's not about how I feel towards them. Let me really be interested in their exploration of this moment. Cognitive empathy involves putting yourself in their shoes, which is the idea of their dog remind you of when you had a dog. And again, that's the internal. So once you vocalize it, you are now upping. So if you're, oh, I remember when I had my dog, which is all okay. We're allowed to do that. That doesn't cost you points. But your vocalizing should be maybe you ask them, right? Because when you have the dog, oh, now that you have a dog, you get to take it to the park, which, by the way, might be something that you really relate to because you used to take the dog to the park, which is cognitive empathy, right? But you're not saying, I used to take my dog to the park. You're going to have a lot of fun with your dog. No, you keep it on them. Oh, wow. Now that you have the dog, you can go to the park and relax, good Zen time. You're basically telling them things they could do that you may have done, but you're taking your pronoun out. You're the you aspect because you don't want the energy on you. Remember, because you're taking their time then. You want to give them your time and effort. All right. And compassion and empathy leads to action. You're excited for them. Basically, I just got a dog. Oh my God, you got a dog. That's so great. What an amazing thing. And now you're showing interest, and that becomes compassion and empathy. And by the way, compassion and empathy is a strong value builder because the more you show interest in somebody's life, excellence, accomplishments, even if you show interest in their failures, their trials and tribulations, you show interest in what they're doing. My car broke down, the engine died. Oh man, how's that making you feel? It's terrible. I can't stand it. Well, do you need anything? What do you need? Well, now I don't know. Nothing really. It's like, you love pizza. Let's get you some pizza. Really? Yeah. Let's get you some pizza. My treat. All right. And even though I said my, that's about them. So I get a +1. I'm giving them, I'm showing them time. Okay. So that is upping. Upping only if somebody says something, your response should stay away from repeating what they have by putting yourself into that position. Oh, I just got a new car. Oh, I love car. My favorite car is blank, blank, blank. Stay on them and you will gain point after point after point after point. Now, before we get to the last section, the number 3, which is the with not at conversation. Again, I'm Thomas J. Belez. Remember to like, comment, and share this video along with subscribing for future content on how to be successful in your career, specifically the entertainment industry. And always, the reason we share this video is because we're trying to elevate those around us with knowledge. That's why we do these free educational videos on how to basically network, market practice, think outside the box, manage your time, money, and people, and ultimately, what do you bring to the table? And by elevating others around us, we are learning to work together, grow together, and rise together. All right, let's get to the final moment of the lesson after I hydrate. It's actually pretty good. Okay. I'm not endorsed by Diet Cherry Pepsi, but I'm just saying. I like Diet Cherry Pepsi. All right. With not at conversation. When we have conversations, we just got a cut. I am not, but I would love to be sponsored by Pepsi if I could. I drink it constantly. I am literally, my blood is Pepsi. Pepsi and pizza. All right. With not at conversation, let's understand the two phrases. At conversation places attention on them, which, by the way, is a -1. With conversation speaks on neutral topics, which actually adds a +1. And the reason is Pepsi. I prefer the Pepsi because it's delicious. At conversations places attention on them. So basically, questions about them, putting energy on them to respond, or forcing them to lead. These are not the only versions of at, but these are 3 examples of at. And this is what it would look like. Basically, questions about them would be, you come here often. right? You come here often as a question that's right at them. Oh, where'd you get that shirt? Oh my God, you work here? Or, hey, how long have you been doing comedy for? These are all at. It creates a -1 because the pressure is on the person. And our job is not to take time from them. If we put them into the spotlight, that is taking time because now they're put into pressure. It's called negative energy, right? So putting energy on them to respond. Do you know where we are? So the idea is the pressure and the stress is, do you know where we are? Now, if they're right, great. If they're wrong, and that puts anxiety or tension or it's just a stress factor and you lose a point because even though they feel like, oh, you're letting me lead, you're just putting too much pressure on. There is another way around that. Do you know where we are? It's by saying an open ended, which by the way, we'll get to the with, but it's an open ended like, where are we? Let's see. If we go, we have 3 different ways. I know the address is this. And then the person goes, oh, I think it's this way. There's no stress or pressure on anyone. It's a neutral, which by the way, with conversation speaks on neutral topics. Where are we? I think, and you're not, hey, do you know where we are is different than where are we? I think if we go this way, we just came from there. We got to get to Fifth Avenue. You're creating a neutral topic point, and now somebody can add their 2 cents because it's not. They don't have to be right or wrong. They just go, oh, I don't know. I think we could go that way, and then you're just like, oh, maybe. Well, let's try that. What's the worst that happens? And now you get a point because you're taking all the pressure off of their failure if they fail. Yeah, don't worry. Let's just try it. Worst case scenario, we just go the other way. Boom. I like that relationship. No pressure, right? So forcing them to lead would be, what do you think we should do? Not everyone wants to lead, even when they are leaders, and not everyone wants to advise. So when you put them into that kind of energy, like, what do you think we should do? Or what's the best advice you have for this? Not everybody wants to feel that. However, again, if you create a neutral topic, it's like, all right, so we have A, B, and C, and we need to accomplish this. I wish, I don't even know where to start. Why don't we brainstorm? Oh, that's a great idea. You create neutral topics so people can step in. But if you put them into the pressure point, it creates a negative point. All right. So let's get to with conversation speak on neutral topics. Talk about the environment. Again, these are only 3 examples. There are many, many examples. Okay. So talk about the environment, no stake in subject matter, and take note of the situation. These things are amazing to do. And talk about the environment. Now, the environment is ultimately the world around you. So if you're in a club or like a comedy club, you would say these walls are really yellow because you're making a statement of fact. If the walls are yellow, these walls are really yellow. Somebody might say yes, they are, and that really happened, and that's how I met somebody, right? Of note. Okay. No stake in subject matter. Overall, this day is halfway over. So again, it's a statement. I yes, I make money telling jokes. Except I don't tell jokes. I'm a comedian, so I don't necessarily go, two Jews walk into a bar. You think one of them wouldn't like? I'm not like that. I tell stories, situational comedy. Yes, yes, I'm a comedian, a musician, a writer. I get paid to write scripts. I get hired to write scripts. I get BBR Productions, to consult, market, and develop. But I do what it is I help people do. So I am a touring comic. I'm a published writer. You can find my book online. I have more books coming out. I got novels. I have scripts. I've been writing for 20 plus years. So yeah, I appreciate the interaction. That's why I do these. I do this because I want people to learn what it is I did, and that's why I'm not charging. I'm like, just use this and just do this. Will you do a comedy stream? Oh, that's a good question. Probably not on this channel, but you might find something on the Thomas J. Beleza channel. You could just go to makearightlefthehere.com and then just follow the YouTube link, and it'll take you to my other channel, which does have comedy on it. It has music on it. It has acting on it. It has all the performance side of my life. Okay. Let me get back to the lesson. We're getting pretty close. The website is makearightlefthehere.com. All right. And then, of course, this website is BBR Productions.com. I am Mr. Everything. And that's because Basically what I'm always teaching on this channel is we should find ways to make ourselves free to do the things we love, not because we have to pay bills, but so we want to, right? So, all right. So back to with conversation speaks on neutral topics. The third point is take note of the situation. So this line is going quickly. So yeah, my hair is really long. I have it in a bun right now. So talk about the environment. These walls are really yellow. Basically, if you look around what's going on, you take note of the environment, and you just present that in a statement of like observation, not necessarily, hey, did you notice these walls are yellow? That's putting pressure back on them. It's just a statement. Wow, these just saying it to yourself. In fact, one of the things that I do is I tell people just if you're like around people and it's really nice and you're outside, just go, wow, it's beautiful out today. Somebody will say something about the weather. In fact, when I had my theater, one of the people I was mentoring, they were like leaning against the wall, whatever, and they looked over to a girl, and he's like, "Oh, what should I say?" And I was like, "Seriously, just say that it's nice out today." And he's like, "No way." And I was like, "I'm telling you, just go. It's nice." And he's leaning, not even looking at it, and he goes, "It is really nice out today. Not too hot, not too cold." And all of a sudden she goes, "Yeah, it really is nice." And then they started talking because it's a neutral topic. There's no pressure, no reason to feel like you have to say the right thing. And the no stake in the subject matter. Overall, this day is halfway over. It's just a statement of observation. Okay. And take note of the situation. This line. So basically, if you're on a line at the supermarket and the line is going quickly, this this line is really flying. Yeah, this line is flying. These kind of topics help you develop a with relationship because when it can be something that both parties can interact with without devaluing their validation, meaning like, let's say I go, hey, did you like the Last Action Hero? And did you like the Last Action? Because I love the Last Action Hero. And they're like, oh, you loved it? I didn't really like it. They might not do that physically, but they're gonna be like, oh, you liked it? Oh, I didn't really like it. You just lost the point. Because the point is like, oh, you like it, but I don't like it. I don't want you to think badly of me. And now they might even say they do like it, just so they don't lose that point because they want points. No one thinks of the points, but when we're building relationship, we want validation. We want people. We don't always have to be on the same page per se, but some people don't like to have that pressure of, you know. So uh, keep in mind, upping and with is a valuable tool. So when you're talking with people, you're taking away the upping aspect. And when people do say stuff, yes, I am a metal singer. Yes, I am. Al Tanyan, that's the name of the band. So when you're with conversation with people, you're really taking it to the next level. You're allowing others to understand that there's no stake in that conversation. It's all about the environment and it's all about speaking together. Okay, so there you go. That's some lessons. Three points on the art of conversation, or as they say, of the art of communication. Allow yourself to understand the value system. Okay, remember it's about them, not you. Focus on them so you don't up them. And then, of course, we want to talk with people, not at people. And other than that, like, comment, and share the video, and subscribe for future content on how to be successful in your field of interest, your career, especially the entertainment industry. All right. Hey, man, I'm about to end the session. I really appreciate you being on again, watching another episode, commenting, and keeping some action. Trust me, I would love to get back on there. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. So subscribe to the other channel. I'll be posting more stuff on there as time comes. Trust me. But anyway, God, bless everybody. I hope everyone's all right, man. I can't wait to see you next time. I really appreciate it. I do. Anyway, can I? Yeah, let me send the link to you. You gotta send the link to people. This should take you there. Thomas J. Palazzo. Right? YouTube. Should take you right there. Yeah, that'll take you right there. Boop. That'll take you right there. Anytime, man. I really appreciate it. Be good. I'm off. Got to eat my lunch. Everyone have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Monday through Friday, my friends, 4:30. Be good. Bye.